So I honestly don't know all that much about like the liminal space games and the backrooms games and all of that stuff, but I can't help but just be fascinated by all of it, as I'm sure many other people are as well. My first real experience with anything like this was with the game Superliminal back, I think, in 2017 or 18, and that was such a unique kind of gaming experience, especially for the fact that I hadn't played anything like it before, and it was just kind of this very fresh take on puzzle games. And I feel like since that time to now, obviously we have a lot more of these kinds of, liminal space games that take a lot more inspiration from the backrooms, that is probably, steering more towards the psychological, the horror aspects to it, and just kind of the bizarreness, kind of that unsettlingness. But I do see why, the darker elements to this genre are so appealing, because they do kind of just have a very nostalgic, familiar feeling about them, even though there's, something off about them as well. And these are all familiar places that we've been to, but they're completely void of like any life. Nobody is there. Nothing's really happening, but there is still a lived-in feel about it. It's almost as if everyone that was here just disappeared and went somewhere else, and now we're left with these empty voids, these empty spaces. But what takes it even a step further beyond that is the fact that a lot of these things, especially the pool rooms settings, office settings, is that all of these things kind of have something about it that's pristine, something about it that feels like it's being taken care of. The pools are always super clean. The everything's in like perfect positions. Everything looks as if, people have been taking care of them and looking after them, yet there's no one around. And that's what's kind of eerie about it. That's what's really off about it, surreal about it. There's something that's kind of like alive, and yet nothing is alive. I think that's kind of like the basis and the core of what makes it so interesting. And there's so much in this genre that I haven't really explored yet. There was like a series of shorts that definitely went viral a few years back. They're even making an A24 film based on the backrooms. There's games popping up about this everywhere. A lot of them are sort of puzzle games, but again, a lot of them focus on the psychological aspects. I can't even imagine what that movie will end up being like. How do you make a story out of all this? And do you include kind of that idea about, things kind of being in perfect condition with no one being around? Because when you do kind of take a step back and think about these games, like, are we kind of playing this from the perspective of a person that is trapped in these spaces? Or are we just kind of viewing all this as like some omniscient entity that's just kind of floating around and looking at all of this? But if you do take the time to explore and find answers to all this, then I think there's a lot of interesting things you can come up with. It's kind of like an endless sandbox playroom to just do whatever you want with. And so I don't think this genre is going to go away anytime soon. There's so many different things you can do with this. I'm so curious on what they do with Dreamcore on the last 3 levels of that game. I think at this point, because there's so many clones and copies of each other, it might feel kind of run-of-the-mill, easy, walking sim style game to make. But I think there's something very unique and artistic to it, and I'm curious to see where this genre goes in the future. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to ramble about the fascination about liminal space games and all of this stuff for a little while. So yeah, I hope you are all doing well out there, and I will see you all in the next one.